Well, hello. Welcome to My Yard is My Garage. I'm Bishop. My yard is my garage. And today, we're not going to be working on our Lincoln, but I'd like you to see the headlights at least here. Look pretty clear, crystal clear, huh? Yeah, well, with some elbow grease, you can get this done too yourself. Now, there are kits by a lot of different companies. You buy it 30, 40 bucks. You could do it yourself. Takes about 20, 30 minutes and looks good. Lasts about a year. I'm going to show you a way. You can do it for maybe 40 bucks once, and then you can do it 100 times after that with just what we have here. Some sandpaper, some painting tape, a couple of different products. Yeah, Meguiar's plastic, and then there's kind of like a UV protectant paint, and then an orbital sander. So yeah, there might be some investment initially, but you know, considering what we're looking at here, you can kind of see that it's foggy. You can kind of see the UV damage that has happened to these lights compared to our Lincoln. So let's go ahead and work on this Benz and make it better, and then you can follow along. You can take care of your own lights and save yourself a lot of money. Some of these are hundreds, if not over $1,000 to replace. All right, let's get to this. Ooh, there's the charger. Yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. All right, let's talk about our products here. So, Meguiar's Plast X. This is really good for polishing towards the end of what we're going to be doing. You can pick this up for under 10 bucks at, you know, your favorite local giant, well, you know who sells all that stuff. Same thing here. Don't get it at a parts store because you'll be paying $20 for that thing. This is the other one. This is the headlight coating. This is a UV spray. We'll be using that at the end, and that kind of seals and protects the plastic over time. We have an assortment right here. This, I think, was about 10 bucks off of the Jungle Place. And it has all the different varieties, and it's a perfect wet sanding product that is needed. Here we have some of our painter's tape. Scotch blue. I think this was probably the most expensive thing. This was like 15 bucks or so, but I was able to pick that up at the local depot place. And then an orbital sander. That's not going to be cheap, maybe 50 or 100 bucks. And then usually you can get a kit of these foam applicator sponges that go with it for, you know, 10 bucks. Sometimes it comes with it. So there's kind of the ingredients. And now just a lot of elbow grease. Oh my God, you'll see what's coming up. For starters, we don't want to mark up this paint or plastic that's on the outside here, even if it already is. So we'll just use our painter's tape. I bought as wide as I could, so I don't have to put multiple strips. Just surround your lens. This will protect your paint while we're buffing at the end. And also if we happen to be sloppy with our sanding. Yeah, we're sanding. Couple more items that you want to add to your list of stuff that you're going to want to get besides, you know, this McGuire stuff and the sandpaper. You're going to want to have a bucket of warm water with just a touch of soap in it. You'll use that to wet down your sandpaper as we're going through this process, and you'll see why I'm asking for a bucket. It's pretty liberal. I mean, this wet sanding thing is a thing. So yeah, so grab yourself a bucket. Fill it up about halfway with warm water, not hot boiling, and just a couple drops of dish soap in there, and bring it on back. You'll see what we're going to do next. Here's our bucket. Again, let's take a quick look here. We've taped around the outside and we're ready to sand. Okay, our sanding process. And this was kind of cool, this variety pack I got that was pretty cheap. Perfect for doing what we're doing. Came with all of the grits that we need. So we're gonna need a 400, just one of these. Half of this will do one lens, half of it will do the other. So we need a 400. Then we need an 800, just one. Then we need a 1500. Then a 3000, which I think is the last one here. Yep. All right, take these. We're just going to tear this in half. We'll use this half on one lens, this half on the other. Now, I don't fold this. I recommend when you do this, just use it, wet it, rub. You'll see. You'll see. No creasing, no... Yeah, we'll talk about that. Let's just dig into this. Get yourself comfortable. Because this is going to take you like 20 minutes to do just one lens. And it's messy, so wear some clothes that you don't mind getting messy. Take your sandpaper, just get it wet. You don't need to wring it out or anything, just get it wet. And let's go ahead and start using it. 400. Now we got to start over again. All right, so take your 400. You're not pushing hard. Wet it frequently. Get it to the edges for sure. And the first pass you'll want to do horizontally. There we go. And think of doing this in about one third of the lens, with a slight overlap in the middle. And you know, if I'm talking too much, feel free to mute me and throw some music on, because man, I would. Remember, don't push hard with this 400. because you can put some scratches in here that you won't be able to take out later. All right, a couple of long strokes. Yeah, you can already see that we're not getting a yellow plastic film off of here anymore. Now it's just kind of clear. All right, so we've done our horizontal. Now we go to vertical. Same sort of thing. Don't push hard. Don't worry if you don't get it perfectly vertical either. Doing this, we're just trying to knock down the ridges that we've created with the first pass going the other direction. There's no real good way to know when you're done, other than just go over each third well. And then just go back over it really lightly once. Okay, we're done with our 400. Now we switch to our 800. Before we do that, let's grab some of our soapy water. Just get off the material we have. All right, start with our clean slate with our 800. Same thing again, horizontal. Don't push hard, just light. You'll notice that it's foggier than it used to be. But that's part of the process. Now you are going to notice something weird. There's like a tugging. So when you come into a new area that you haven't sanded yet, you'll feel there's more drag on your sandpaper. And that drag slowly goes away as you're rubbing. And that's because you are knocking down the lines from the other sandpaper. And that's the good part. There's a lot of feel in here. That's what you want to feel. Don't push hard. All right, just a couple long ones. Okay, still foggy. Vertical. Try not to go in circles. Then I go in a circle. Just vary it slightly so you aren't making any deep scrapes. Okay, that one's done. All right, still looks pretty foggy, but might be slightly clearer. All right, next, 1500. Same thing again. We're almost there. All right, horizontal first. Make sure you get the corners. That's pretty critical for overall appearance at the end. All right, now vertical. And you'll feel it getting slicker and less resistant underneath your sandpaper here as we go. Okay. Okay, that was our 1500. So we've gone 400, 800, 1500. Now the last one we do is 3000. All right, it is looking a little clearer. You can already see a big difference. Here, let's take a look. Here we are, not 3000, but this is our 1500. Kind of, you can see how clear or kind of clear plasticky that is. And the kind of foggy, that yellowish that one is. So even now we've made quite a difference. Let's get back to our scrubbing. Right, now we use our 3000. Again, this is wet sanding sandpaper. Horizontal first. Make sure you get those edges. It's going to start getting really slick underneath the sandpaper. I don't have a lot of advice. I don't have a lot of advice on how to hold this properly. I usually just put my thumb under a corner and hold on to it. A few long ones. The reason I'm doing a few long ones is I kind of feel where the plastic underneath here, underneath the sandpaper, maybe still pulls a little. So I know I need to sand in that spot. Nope, it's feeling good all the way across. Now our vertical. Okay. All right, that was our 3000. So now you might say, wow, look at that. That is amazing. And yeah, it is. All right, so next Let's give this a wipe down. Grab yourself some rubbing alcohol. I'll be right back. Grab yourself some shop towels, some isopropyl rubbing alcohol. We just want to get everything off of here that we have sanded off. I know, look at that. It's just amazing. All right, that's going to fog up slightly as it dries. Now we use our plastics. All right, well, this is an orbital sander. And I have, it's a 6-inch diameter. Got a foam pad on here. You can pick up at any parts store or at your local Wally World. All right, grab your McGuire's. Whoa. Put on about that much. Can't give you an exact amount, but that's what you need. And if it has a low setting, make sure you're on low. Wow, that really sprays it around. Okay, so that's one. So I do this 3 times. Maybe we'll do like this. Now, you're not pushing hard either. You're just guiding it over the surface with slight pressure. Okay, and then one more time. Okay, so now back again with our shop towel, our isopropyl alcohol, about that much, and we just clean this off. Still see we got a couple of really good rock dings in here. Okay. You'll want to make sure that you really clean it good, because we're going to use that UV spray next. Okay, last part. This is the headlight coating stuff I was telling you about. Give it a good shake. You may want to wear some breathing protection if you don't have good ventilation on doing this outside. Try not to paint the rest of your car or other cars around you. You're just going to be using this in wide swaths across the light. Ready? Start at the bottom. That's one pass. We're going to do 3. Okay, second coat, although it says to do 2, I don't know if 3 is any better, but I've done 3. Seems to be okay. From the bottom again. A few minutes down, last coat. All right, let that set for about 10 minutes before you take your tape off. But let's take a look now already. So you can kind of see what we're looking at here for clarity. Yeah, it's shocking. It's shocking. And these lights are like $1,800 each new, and this here for less than $100 or $200. I could do a lot of lights with this. So all right, let's come back when that's dry and clean, take one last look, and then I'll do the other headlight and not drag you along with that, and then just show you what it looks like at the end. Well, not shabby for a 20-year-old rig. Yep. Those are very clear and very bright. And that at night is going to give us a much better road coverage of the light. Alright, well that's going to wrap up our headlight cleaning on our 2006 ML350. Yeah, that's going to be much better. Much easier to see at night. So, thank you for coming along on, well, my yard is my garage, and yeah, you see a charger there. We'll get to it. Thanks a lot. If you like what you see, go ahead and hit subscribe. If you also want to be notified when I put new content down, hit the bell. You know the deal. Thank you a lot for coming by. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think. You know, let me know how much you want to dig into the charger. Maybe we'll do that next. All right, we'll see you next time. My yard is my garage.